It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Tsh, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, li, da, di, li, di, da. Di, da, di, li, di, da, di, li, 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 da, di, da, di, da, di, di, da.
Hello guys, and oops. Hello guys, and it's Donut 2 in the flesh. Well, you may have seen me in real life when I actually uploaded the hype I'm Donut 2. Yeah, I'm Donut 2 was actually the song for this. And now you're seeing me here. Nice to meet you. My hair is kind of messy, so I'm just gonna keep this cap on just in case. Anyways, surprised? I'm hoping that you're surprised as I am because I finally reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. And to celebrate this, I actually do have a Q&A that I actually announced to all of you. And you basically sent me like a lot of questions for me to answer. So, well, let's get right to it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the YouTube comments first, and then the Discord comments, or questions I should say. Here's the first question right here. Why was ICSCS beta update was the end of ICSCS? It's actually not the end of ICSCS. The concluding update, which is known as the full release, will actually be the final update for ICSCS. Not beta. No. Why you decided to make ICSCS the final core game of yours? Well, as you can see, I'm a college student now, and I don't even have time. Like, I don't even have enough time, like a lot of time than before. So I actually tend to have less and less free time to work on stuff. And I actually feel like it's best for me to make this my final core game, but I might as well also make it the best core game that I actually made. Why didn't you make Meltdown release before beta? Well, because during the pre-alpha, alpha part 1, alpha part 2, pre-beta stages, well, it actually doesn't seem fitting for me to actually put in a Meltdown. I mean, I know that Meltdown could come during alpha, but sadly most of the things aren't finished yet, and I actually had to finish the remaining features and such before working on Meltdown. But you know what they all say, save the best for last. Woohoo! And do you have intention to make ICSCS an open source? Nah. I don't have plans to right now, but maybe in the next, I don't know, several years, or heck, even 10 years, or whatever happens, like, I don't know, maybe in the future where the game gets too broken to handle as well as maintain, then I definitely consider it. If only if it gets too broken, that is, and I stop development of it entirely. Okay, what do you think of the end result of your game? I'm actually feeling proud. All the features that I actually had planned already made it into the game, except for one thing, which is the true ending. The true ending, in my opinion, is probably going to be my favorite out of all the endings, but there's actually more to it. It's more than just the ending, I should say. But overall, yep, I'm actually really proud of it. I saw my username in the credits, one somewhere in the middle, presumably when I bought the Canary Game Pass, and at the very end, when I donated 10 Robux to support the game. And I was thinking, how is that even possible? Should my name be on the credits only once if I already supported the game and decided to show more support? Well, I'm planning to fix this in 2.1.1. And yeah, it's meant to show only once, but because I actually had to, let's say that it's supposed to thank the player in the more special thanks for playing the game. But, well, maybe I can actually cut it off entirely when, let's say, when the player already is in the more special thanks. But, yeah. What is horror game that you're playing for the first time? Well, honestly, I don't really know, but I still remember playing on the DS, or the Nintendo DS I should say, and it had one game which is Resident Evil, and well, I actually didn't even know it's a horror game back then. I was just playing it for fun, even though I can't get past, even though I can't even get past the beginning for some reason. Yeah, I gotta say, maybe Resident Evil on the DS. What is your goal for 2025? Yeah, I kinda have an issue trying to, answer this because I'm not really sure what would the future look like for me, aside from, I don't know, me continuously studying and doing things I like, as always. But, well, maybe it might be just me doing something that I like, or doing a lot of things I like and such, but yeah, you get the idea. Probably doing things that makes me happy and living my life, I should say. Okay, next question. What was your most complex project ever in this game? Like coding the NPC or just the overall concept? Well, I gotta say the NPC feature is pretty hard to make, but, well, actually no, it's really hard, but it's probably the one that I'm most proud of as of right now, because you get to see NPCs use the elevators, eat at the internal cafe, and also ride the internal transit. That I'm actually really proud of, because at least it makes the facility more lively, and instead of some sort of soulless facility that you're working in. And is there any big mistakes in structuring or deleting something important? Well, yeah, there are several instances of it actually. So, one of the instances is that I accidentally deleted the credits, and without me noticing, it actually broke the entire main script, which is over 20,000 lines long, I should say. And also, yeah, there's a lot that I can name, but that's the only major thing I know about right now. Sorry. Okay, next question. How long did it take you to make the randomizer model? So, the randomizer module actually started development back in March of 2022, if I remember correctly, and that's for the ICSCS April Fool's version, where I show all of you the alpha update early. Yeah, it was the alpha update, and I decided to make something for April Fools. So every 60-second the game runs, the entire place gets randomized with random textures, random sounds, well, basically random everything. And to be honest, it's kind of funny seeing your reactions to this, like being all surprised and that. Yeah, I then made it open source for anyone to use if they actually wanted to randomize their game or whatnot. And I think it might get you some funny results, but I'm not really sure. It depends on the size of your game. That's all I can say. What does ICSS look like with future lighting and shadows? Cause it will look realistic when you try it. Well, when I tried future lighting on ICSS, it looks like this. Yeah, it kind of looks weird, and to be honest, I also heard that it actually drains a lot of performance, and I didn't want that. I actually wanted the game to be playable for everyone, actually. I mean, I know that there are some players that can't even run the game, sadly, but I do recommend using a 2017 PC or something like MacBook that I have, that I'm using to read off the comments that you have, like your questions, and that actually can run the game just fine, except for the graphics. They are they're probably at 1. It's set automatically, of course. When will you put and post ICSS fan arts in the guide room and in the community tab? Right now, I don't have plans to do that right now because I prefer to make things in-house, like my drawings and such. And well, I actually wanted to try something new for once. Like, I actually tried to practice drawing guidely and such, and well, yeah, I actually started to draw guidely as the first thing to draw because they're of course by far my favorite OC that I have ever made, I should say. But for the fan arts in the guide room, I don't have plans to do it, but I don't know. I'm not sure actually, but you can let me know what you think. Like putting fan arts in some area that people can see, but right now I don't know. It's I don't get a lot of fan arts that often at the moment, but we'll see. Now the final question in the YouTube comments: are you going to make different types of games in the future? Well, after ICSS and ICCC the grand finale, I do have a game plan, but it's way too ambitious for me to do it at the moment because of how big the game is for me. Because I kind of made the mistake once, and it's ICSS. I think I made it too big of a game for solo dev, of course. But I did try to push through, and well, I guess I can say it's worth it, even though it probably didn't get as many players than other core games or something, but I'm proud with what I have right now. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the Discord questions, and the first question is: from your perspective, what was the hardest thing you've ever done during ICSS development? Whether it been an update, feature, etc. So, in my opinion, the hardest update I have ever done is Alpha Part 1. Why? Well, even though it's the hardest for me, it's probably the most revolutionary in this game because it all started with NPCs, of course, the moving NPCs, but not only that, there's also occupations and tasks that help build the game to where it is today. So basically, I've been using the same task script from Alpha Part 1 to build the tasks and such. Let's say that it's actually Alpha Part 1. And for feature, well, it's kind of hard to pinpoint the feature that is the hardest for me to make. So maybe it's yeah, let's say Alpha Part 1 actually. Like most of the features in Alpha Part 1. Next up, what would happen if IBCC was made in 2015? So like when I was 11 at the time, or 10, whenever I joined the community or something back in 2015, I would definitely, yeah, back then I would definitely take an uncoplock game or something, like an uncoplock core game, and then rebrand it as Intelligent Builders. That's how Intelligent Builders Computer Core Legacy, or originally IBCC, came to play. I actually took an open source green tech computer core and then rebranded the entire thing to IBCC. I replaced the green color scheme to cyan and added way too much neon in it. It's kinda dumb, but sometimes it actually gives me nostalgia, not gonna lie. Why didn't ICCC get a topside before being uncoplocked? I mean, technically it doesn't have a topside, but it's just mostly grass. And let's say I was too lazy, and to be honest, I don't think it does serve a point to me. I only had like several days to work on the final update for ICCC before I finally said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and develop the grand finale. And then yeah, I only had like several days to work on it and fixing things. Most of them are just fixes though. What inspired you to make Guidely? My inspiration from Guidely came from a channel or a music alias that is called Cosmic, and I released just only one song there, Initiate. And sadly, I do not plan on that. Yeah, I have no idea what's the point of getting a music alias if you're actually gonna release one song on it. I mean, this is kind of like a way to get the. Yeah, sadly, no one actually noticed that. No one actually noticed. Not even the algorithm noticed it, but yeah, that's life, I guess. And with that, Cosmic actually has an avatar, which was originally gonna be Cosmic, but then I had to repurpose it to something else, and that's how Guidely came to be. And for Guidely, well, during Alpha Part 2's development, I actually do plan to add a help system / guide in there, but I didn't want to make it soulless and such, or yeah, like there's no life in whatsoever. So I had to make an original character that players can actually befriend and such, and that's how Guidely came into play. Regarding about my ICSCS fan art, how did you feel when you saw it? I actually feel really motivated. So every time I see fan art from you as well as others, I actually feel motivated to continue working on the game. And to be honest, it was tough work, but seeing the fan art that you actually made, as well as the other fan arts that other people make, it actually gave me motivation to continue pushing forward. And well, while ICSCS is probably gonna have its final update in I don't know when, but after the concluding update, I really want to incorporate Guidely to more things as well. I'm not really sure what things, but yeah, I really want to do. We'll see where Guidely goes after this. When will you use the PNG I've made? You can go to reactive.fuji.tech for it. So like I previously said, I prefer to do things in-house. I really appreciate it, but if I were to become a PNG tuber, but I'm not really sure, like I don't have any plans at the moment, but if I do become one, it would actually have to be drawn in-house by me. I mean, I actually really appreciate the PNG tubers that he actually made for me, but well, maybe I can take inspiration from you or something. Maybe one day. But right now, I don't think it's the time at the moment. Music! Okay, do you plan on still making music in the future? This may or may not be a silly question. Well, fun fact, I actually do have an original song coming out after the Q&A. Well, maybe like a few days after the Q&A. And here's the preview, I guess. Yep, that's right. I actually drawn the background and stuff myself, like the artwork itself. It was really hard. I actually had to spend like 3 days drawing this, and I'm actually proud of the result. I mean, I know I'm kind of a beginner, or am I? Yeah, I'm actually a beginner, but just please go easy on me actually. I actually didn't want to spend like a long time only to be made fun of. Yeah. I did try my best though. Why are the versions of Legacy IBCC not released? I'm talking about version 300, 350, 450, and 550. Also, can you make them public, please? Yeah, I actually don't know why did I stop doing that. Well, maybe because I don't have any free time to actually upload all the versions all the way to 600 into my group, but maybe eventually I will do that. But right now I'm still working on 2.1.1, and by the time of recording this, it's still not done. I'm almost done with all the features though, and I still have yet to get to the bug reports. But yeah, I may continue uploading the Legacy IBCC on my group one day, but well, right now it's not the time. Maybe once I have free time, that is. What games do you mostly play? Do you play your own games mostly or something else? Well, it changes constantly. Like, every time I had interest in a game, I tend to stick with it for, I don't know, maybe like months. Like, for example, Watch Dogs 2. I actually got into the second game in the series, and then I decided to check the first game in the series. And then once Watch Dogs Legion came out, I actually checked out that one as well. And not gonna lie, I actually slowly lost interest in it. I mean, I still like the theming, the game features and such, but sadly for the game, I do not have the incentive to actually play it. Well, not yet. Maybe I might come back to it in the future, but who knows. Have you played any core games before you made IBCC? Yes, I did. So, the core games that I made before IBCC was actually Pinewood Computer Core, where it was 2013 and it was still using the Flying Squirrels OST from, I think, Black Ops. I don't know, maybe Black Ops or something. And then of course Innovation Labs, where it was using 4000 degrees Kelvin, I think. Actually, yeah, it was using 4000 degrees Kelvin from Portal. Everyone knows that, I guess. And I also did play Discover Computer Core, or should I say Knowledge Tech Computer Core at the time, because I actually did take an uncoupled Knowledge Tech Computer Core and turn it into IBCC, but I was thankful that I didn't release that version. I would get a lot of backlash if I do that. And yeah, I was actually scouring through Roblox for uncoupled games, especially computer cores, because computer cores were prominent at the time before we switched to full-on reactor. And yeah, that's your answer. How did you came up with the name of company, Internal Corporation? Sometimes I confuse internal with eternal, but still interesting. How you came up with that idea. So, back when it was 2018, I actually wanted to change the group name to Aerotech, since Intelligent Builders was taken by another person on Roblox, like the group itself. I wanted to use Aerotech, but it was also taken by another person on Roblox. But then it finally landed in Internal Corporation. I'm not really sure if it's taken or not, but sadly the group never came to fruition. And yeah, I did ask a group holder to make a group for me, but sadly it didn't come to fruition, and I probably do not have any plans to make an Internal Corporation group anytime soon. Sorry. And how I came up with the name of the company? Well, I actually can't remember. My mind was kinda cloudy, I should say. How are you making OST music? Is there a program which helps you tell about the process of making OST? So, I actually use FL Studio for all of my music compositions. And firstly, I start with a piano roll, where I plan the chords, the harmonies, the melodies, etc. And then I plan the beats as well. And then I worked on the bass, the chords, the lead. Yeah, that's kind of like my, that's kind of what I do while I was making original music, and maybe some of the OSTs as well. And it can go two ways. Either I start from the beginning and work my way to the end with the song, or I just build the drop first and then build the build up, the verses, the intro, the outro, yeah, everything else later. Yeah, that actually can go two ways, I should say. How many lines of code are there in ICSCS? As of recording this right now, there's over 150,000 lines of code in ICSCS. It was actually daunting to manage all of them, but if one breaks, then well, I'm in for a ride, I guess. But I still try my best to fix the stuff, like the bugs and such going on. But yeah, I actually haven't read the Trello in quite a while actually, because it, in my opinion, got too overwhelming for me, and I knew that I had to pause for now. So yeah, when we release an original song, well, I actually answered it already. It's coming here, but well, actually, since you mentioned it, it's actually gonna come in a few days. But well, for the answer, in maybe in a few days after this Q&A, of course. What will happen to ICSS after the concluding update? Maybe I might actually work on minor features, like minor updates. So the second digit, which is the one that goes up in every major update, like pre-beta and beta. Pre-beta was like 2.0, beta is 2.1, and the concluding update is potentially 2.2. And after this, there might be 2.2.1 and so on. So it most likely might be on life support, like me fixing bugs from time to time, as well as, well, many more stuff I guess. It will probably be on life support for a year or something. Who knows? And I had to split it up to like 3 months. I actually had to work on the game every 3 months. Well, because I didn't want to stress myself, of course, managing the game all the time. Because I actually really wanted to focus on my studies and such. What would you do next after finishing your next 2 games? After this, I can't say for certain, actually. I can't say for certain on what am I gonna do next, but I'm gonna be honest here, I actually lost interest in the reactor concept. Like, yeah, it feels like I tend to be more proud of things that I have done, like the NPC tasks, as well as the other stuff, like the presentation system, the lab machinery, the chemicals, etc., instead of the reactor itself. That's what I'm more proud of, I should say. Other than that, yeah, ICSCS will definitely be on life support. And for ICCC Grand Finale, well, I'm not entirely sure yet, but we'll see. Whoa, that's a lot of questions. Why is Internal Pavilion named Internal Pavilion, such a specific name? So I wanted to give the auditorium like a unique name, to be honest, and I can't go with theater or cinema or auditorium and such. I think the word got too cliche for me, so I decided to go for Internal Pavilion. So Internal Pavilion is like a portmanteau of 2 names, like Internal Corporation and Pavilion. And well, Pavilion is something I thought in my head while I was making pre-beta, but yeah, that's how it was made. Weird question, but would you say that the SB8 Shaw Mark II is similar to the 0 point from Fortnite? I mean, look at it. Once the black hole instability occurs, of course. Even I knew that as well. When I took a look at the 0 point from Fortnite and compared it with the stabilized black hole reactor Mark II, I was kinda surprised. I mean, you also caused me to put in a Reality Zero reference in one of the badges, I should say. Is it possible to contribute to ICSCS development? I don't think so anymore. So after pre-beta and beta, I mean, I was originally planning to hire more people for pre-beta, but I decided against that because I still wanted to keep this game a solo project. Yeah, ICSS is more of an indie development game instead of a group development. Yeah, for the remainder of ICSS timeline, probably not, because I'm gonna still work on the game alone, because this is what I want the game to be, made by a solo dev. And for the concluding update, it's better off if I actually develop on the game alone, because I actually know what I wanted the game to look like after the concluding update. What is your favorite food? Me all. Okay. So, my favorite food has to be spaghetti, and well, yeah, my favorite food is actually spaghetti. I actually tried a lot of spaghetti, and there are only a few that I do not like. But for the majority of it, I actually really like the taste itself. I love the tomato sauce as well as the noodles itself. They really, they really come together really well. Bonus points if there's actually cheese on it, because yeah, I'm actually a big fan of cheese. Well, not all the time, of course. Sometimes I like stuff without cheese because it could be too much. How long does it take you to create music for the game? So it depends on the OSTs. Like for example, if it's a more simpler OSTs, like the ending OSTs, it usually takes like a few hours. And for the more complex OSTs like the No Turning Back, it usually takes like a few days to actually compose them. I like how the end result turned out. But yeah, do whatever sounds the best, no matter how short or long, or actually no matter how long you take actually. Finally, Keiki, what is your style of scripting? Talking about spacing and stuff like that. The worrying signs of the scripts are telling me that this might be the reason. Well, I usually tend to put like spaces in the scripts like this. Yeah, that's my habit now because I can't resist pressing enter every time I add a new function or something. But yeah, the script still works fine though. Although it will obviously be a hassle to remove all the space from them. There's like way too many scripts to be honest. And that's all the questions. That's all the questions for this Q&A. And once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. And it really means a lot to me that you're still here, supporting me as well as the game's development. But of course, maybe it might be sad that ICSS might be ending in the future, but well, I do have a reason to actually. I can't reveal the reason to you just yet, but we'll see in the future. And I hope you can understand it as well. But once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.